The shimmering silver vessel hung motionless in the dark void, its surface pulsating with an ethereal glow. To the inhabitants of the planet below, it was a symbol of mystery, an object of fascination, and the harbinger of answers humanity had sought for centuries. Proof of intelligent life beyond Earth. Inside the vessel, a delegation of extraterrestrials, known as the Zorvans, observed the planet with a mixture of curiosity and trepidation. The Zorvans were an advanced species, having long abandoned violence, greed, and competition. Their civilization flourished in harmony, driven by the pursuit of knowledge and unity. Earth, with its tumultuous history and chaotic nature, intrigued and bewildered them. Preliminary scans indicate high levels of carbon emissions, evidence of warfare, and strange concentrations of microwaves, reported Ovnix, a researcher with a translucent body and shimmering appendages that glowed faintly in the dim light. Microwaves? Inquired the mission leader, Zail, tilting his head. For communication? It seems... Zail's appendages flickered with a pattern that signified confusion. A species that prioritizes convenience over energy efficiency? Fascinating. Let us proceed with the first contact protocol. The arrival? The Zorvans descended into Earth's atmosphere with calculated precision. Their vessel emitted no sound, its surface refracting light to create a dazzling display. It landed in a vast open desert, chosen for its remoteness to minimize the potential for chaos. Nearly 6 feet, they climbed Zemba. Within minutes, humanity's typical response unfolded. Chaos. Social media erupted with hashtags like aliens are here and first contact. Conspiracy theorists flooded online forums, and governments scrambled to claim jurisdiction over the mysterious visitors. The first to arrive were not scientists or diplomats, but a group of thrill-seeking influencers. Armed with drones and smartphones, they streamed live footage of themselves posing with the alien vessel in the background. One particularly daring individual attempted to climb the ship for a selfie. Inside the ship, Zael observed the scene with growing perplexity. Are these their leaders? Unlikely, Obnix replied. They appear to be, entertainers. Zael sighed. Proceed with the universal greeting beacon. Zorvans activated a device that emitted harmonious tones and projected a holographic message in multiple Earth languages. It was a simple, non-threatening introduction. We come in peace. We wish to share knowledge and understand your culture. A human response. The message was met with a variety of human reactions, some awe-inspired, others predictably chaotic. Within an hour, the site was swarming with military vehicles, news crews, protesters, and opportunists selling alien-themed merchandise. The military established a perimeter, their weapons trained on the ship despite the aliens showing no signs of hostility. Behind them, a group of scientists argued over who should be the first to approach. Protesters carried signs with conflicting messages, "Welcome our cosmic brothers," and "Aliens go home." The Zorvans watched with increasing bewilderment. Why are they pointing weapons at us if they have not yet declared hostility? Zael asked. They seem to operate on paranoia, Obnix speculated. Meanwhile, a young scientist named Dr. Elena Torres managed to convince the military to let her approach the ship. Clad in a white lab coat and carrying a device meant to translate alien languages, she stepped forward cautiously, broadcasting her actions to the world. Greetings, she said, her voice trembling. We mean no harm. Can you understand me? Zael emerged from the vessel, its shimmering form causing gasps among the crowd. It responded through a universal translator, its voice melodic and calm. We understand. We come in peace. Are you the leader of your kind? Elena hesitated. No, I'm a scientist, but I can help facilitate communication. Before Zale could respond, a commotion erupted. A conspiracy theorist had breached the perimeter, shouting about government cover-ups and demanding to see the aliens for himself. The military subdued him, but the scene caused an uproar among the crowd. Zale turned to Avnix. "Is this—" "It appears so," Avnix replied, its glow dimming slightly in a gesture of dismay. "A parade of oddities." Over the next few days, the Zorvans observed humanity more closely, their ship hovering above Earth like a silent sentinel. They witnessed protests and parades, songs and speeches, art exhibits inspired by their arrival, and even a hastily organized interplanetary beauty pageant. One particularly baffling moment occurred when a group of humans dressed as extraterrestrials staged a mock alien invasion for entertainment. Why would they simulate an invasion during a peaceful first contact? Zao wondered aloud. They seemed to find humor in the absurd, Obnik suggested. The Zorvans began documenting these strange behaviors, categorizing them into what they called the Archive of Human Insanity. Highlights included vigorous students who performed some of the most, a billionaire offering to sell tickets for a space flight to meet the Zorvans in orbit, a faction claiming the aliens were divine beings and worshiping them, a rival faction insisting the aliens were harbingers of doom preparing for an apocalypse, a viral video of a man dressed as a chicken performing a dance in front of the alien vessel, which garnered millions of views. The first time I heard this, it was like, yo, I had some mental blocks with racism, so it was probably years ago. But despite the chaos, there were moments of profound humanity that left the Zorvans awestruck. People from across the globe united to welcome the visitors, sharing messages of hope and curiosity. Scientists collaborated internationally, setting aside political differences to prepare for meaningful dialogue with the Zorvans. A misunderstood gesture. On the 7th day of their visit, the Zorvans decided to present a gift, a small, luminescent crystal that held a wealth of knowledge about their species and their history. They handed it to Dr. Torres during a formal ceremony broadcast worldwide. "These is a symbol of our friendship," Zale announced. "We hope it brings enlightenment to your people." Moments later, a human politician seized the crystal and declared it a threat, claiming it could be a Trojan horse meant to infiltrate Earth's systems. The military confiscated the crystal, leading to outrage from scientists and the general public. Zale turned to Avnix, its glow flickering erratically. "Why do they destroy their own opportunities?" "They seem to fear what they do not understand," Avnix replied. The breaking point. As tensions rose, the Zorvans began to doubt the wisdom of their mission. Just as they considered leaving, a global coalition of scientists, artists, and young leaders reached out to the aliens pleading for a second chance. They organized a worldwide celebration showcasing humanity's creativity and resilience. The event moved Zale and his delegation. They realized that despite their flaws, humans possessed a unique, chaotic beauty, a blend of madness and brilliance that defied logic but held immense potential. "We have much to learn from you," Zale told Dr. Torres during their final meeting. "Your species is unlike any we have encountered. Your insanity may be your greatest strength." With that, the Zorbans departed, leaving humanity to ponder the encounter. Their parting words, broadcast globally, left an indelible mark. Humans are insane, but perhaps in madness, there is genius. After the Zorvans departed Earth, they left behind not only the gift of their knowledge crystal, now safely restored to scientists, but also a profound impression of humanity's paradoxical nature. Though they found humans unpredictable, their resilience and creativity warranted deeper study. This time, the Zorvans decided to observe Earth from orbit for an extended period, documenting humanity's ingenuity in its rawest forms. Unexpected ingenuity in crisis. Weeks after the Zorvan ship disappeared in the cosmos, a devastating earthquake struck a bustling city in southern Asia. Buildings crumbled, roads fractured, and millions were left stranded in the chaos. As emergency services struggled to respond, a peculiar phenomenon unfolded. The survivors began organizing themselves into makeshift rescue teams. The Zorvans, still observing from their cloaked vessel, recorded the unfolding events. Remarkable, Ovnix noted as it watched a group of civilians use scraps of metal and fabric to construct stretchers for the injured. Others repurposed fallen beams to create rudimentary cranes to lift debris. They're improvising with what they have, Sale observed. It's inefficient yet astonishingly effective. One scene particularly stood out. A group of engineers rigged a power generator using an abandoned car battery and fragments of a solar panel. Within hours, they had restored electricity to a field hospital set up in a school courtyard. Man, is this normal? Zale asked. It appears to be, Ovnix replied, its glow flickering in admiration. They thrive in adversity, even when their systems fail. The Zorvans began categorizing these acts of ingenuity under a new section of their archive, Unpredictable Solutions to Catastrophe. The orbital repair miracle. Months later, the Zorvans' attention turned to a human space mission. A group of astronauts aboard a space station was conducting routine maintenance when a rogue fragment of space debris struck their solar array, damaging critical systems. The Zorvans debated intervening. Their technology is primitive, Zell mused. Should we assist them? No, replied Chu Farland. Obnix disagreed. Let us observe first. Their response may yield new insights. What unfolded was a display of human ingenuity that would later be hailed as a testament to their resourcefulness. The astronauts, faced with dwindling power, devised an impromptu solution. Using duct tape, spare insulation, and parts of a broken copy machine, they crafted a temporary fix for the solar array. The Zorbans were mesmerized. Duct tape, Zael asked, incredulous. It is a multi-purpose adhesive humans use for nearly everything, Ovnix explained. But it worked, Zael exclaimed, watching as the astronauts cheered their success. The humans not only stabilized their systems, but also broadcast their repair process live to Earth, inspiring millions. Memes of duct tape saves the day flooded human social media. Zale made a note in the archive: humans possess an uncanny ability to innovate under pressure, often repurposing mundane items for extraordinary tasks. The island of cooperation. The Zorvans' observations took a darker turn when they monitored a geopolitical crisis. Two rival nations had been on the brink of war for decades, their hostility fueled by territorial disputes and ideological differences. One day, an unprecedented storm swept through a coastal region shared by both nations. The hurricane decimated entire towns, leaving millions displaced and desperate for aid. What happened next shocked the Zorvans. The rival nations, instead of exploiting the disaster to gain an advantage, put aside their differences to launch a joint relief effort. Soldiers from opposing armies worked side by side to deliver supplies, rebuild shelters, and rescue stranded civilians. As big as fog again, we are so close to you, Sam. Special experience, not a lot. A new day was bent on the coming. Zale turned to Ovnix, its glow pulsing with bewilderment. These are the same beings who, days ago, threatened each other with annihilation? Indeed, Ovnix replied. It seems adversity has a unifying effect on them. In one particularly poignant moment, a soldier from one side carried a child from the other across a flooded river, earning applause from the gathered crowd. The Zorvans documented this as an example of humanity's capacity for empathy and cooperation, even amidst long-standing enmity, the festival of innovation. During their prolonged observation, the Zorvans witnessed humanity's propensity for turning crises into celebrations of resilience and creativity. One such event was a global innovation festival spurred by a challenge to develop sustainable solutions to climate change. Scientists, engineers, artists, and students from every corner of the planet participated, presenting inventions that range from the practical to the bizarre. Zael and Ovanix observed with fascination as humans showcased solar-powered desalination units, biodegradable plastics made from algae, and even a prototype of a flying car powered by wind turbines. But what intrigued the Zorvans most was a group of children from a rural village who invented a water filtration system using nothing more than bamboo, sand, and charcoal. Their simple yet effective design won international acclaim and inspired larger corporations to adopt the concept. Humans excel in grassroots innovation, Ovnix remarked. Their children, in particular, seem unbound by conventional thinking. Zale nodded. It is both their chaos and their creativity that define them. The Zorvans' revelation. After a year of observation, the Zorvans concluded their study of Earth. They invited Dr. Elena Torres and a select group of human representatives to their cloaked vessel for a final exchange of insights. Zeal addressed the group, its voice tinged with both admiration and incredulity. Your species is unlike any we have encountered. You are unpredictable, often illogical, and prone to self-destruction. Yet, in your chaos, there is brilliance. Your ability to adapt, innovate, and unite under extreme circumstances is unparalleled. DeRoy smiled. We call it human ingenuity. It's what's helped us survive. Zale's glow brightened. We once thought your insanity was a weakness. Now we see it as a strength, a paradoxical force that propels you forward. Blah. The Zorvans shared a parting gift, a holographic archive of their observations, filled with examples of human ingenuity. In return, the humans offered a simple yet profound token. A piece of duct tape, symbolic of their resilience. As the Zorvans departed Earth's orbit for the final time, Zale left a message for humanity, broadcast across all frequencies. Humans are insane, but it is your insanity that makes you extraordinary. Nurture it wisely, for it holds the key to your future. Zorvans returned to their homeworld, their archives overflowing with data from their observations of Earth. They convened a grand assembly of their most brilliant minds to present their findings on humanity, a species unlike any they had ever encountered. The presentation was titled The Power of Paradox, which then turned into The Power of Paradox, part of which is Martin Freud's Zelenovinix. The lead observer stood before an audience of shimmering, translucent beings in a vast amphitheater. The walls pulsed with light, reflecting the collective curiosity of the Zorvan people. The presentation begins. Zale began with a holographic projection of Earth, its vibrant blues and greens spinning slowly. Behold a planet teeming with contradictions, Zal announced. Its inhabitants, whom we call humans, are simultaneously their greatest threat and their greatest hope. Through chaos and contradiction, they thrive. Let us explore the paradoxes that define them. Paradox 1: Destructive Creators. In the first segment, showcased humanity's capacity for both creation and destruction. Footage played of cities illuminated by dazzling skylines, marvels of architecture and engineering. Then, in stark contrast, came images of the same cities reduced to rubble by war and natural disasters. Humans are capable of constructing wonders, Obnix explained, but also of tearing them down. Yet, from the ashes of destruction, they rebuild, often better than before. Zale highlighted an example. Hiroshima, once devastated by a nuclear bomb, had transformed into a thriving city dedicated to peace and innovation. The audience murmured in awe, their light patterns shifting to shades of deep thought. They weaponize their knowledge, Zale continued, yet they also use it to heal, invent, and progress. This duality is both dangerous and extraordinary. Paradox 2. Isolationist collaborators. The next paradox: examine humanity's simultaneous tendencies toward division and unity. Trajaction displayed humanity's conflicts, wars over borders, resources, and ideologies. Then, a montage of global collaboration followed. The formation of the United Nations, international space missions, and worldwide efforts to combat pandemics. Zale explains they create divisions where none are needed, imaginary lines on their planet, differences in beliefs. But when faced with a common threat, they come together with remarkable speed and efficiency. Obix added, during our observation, we witnessed a global coalition form to address the climate crisis. Scientists and leaders from rival nations collaborated to launch a geoengineering project that successfully mitigated atmospheric damage. It was a moment of unity born from necessity. The Zorvan audience pulsed with admiration, their lights brightening as they absorbed the lesson. Paradox 3. Rational dreamers. Humanity's ability to dream beyond logic was the third paradox. Zale projected images of space exploration, artistic masterpieces, and technological leaps. They reach for the stars despite not having resolved their problems at home, Zale said. They dream of colonizing other worlds while their own faces crises. Avnix shared an anecdote from their observations. A team of human scientists worked for decades on a project to capture the first image of a black hole. Despite limited resources and skepticism, they succeeded, achieving a breakthrough that transcended practical necessity. Zale added, their capacity to dream fuels their progress. Logic alone does not guide them. Imagination plays an equal role. It is a paradoxical force that defies reason, yet drives innovation. The human heart, the ultimate paradox. The final and most profound paradox was humanity's emotional complexity. They are driven by emotions: love, fear, anger, hope, Zale said. These emotions often lead to irrational decisions, yet they also inspire acts of profound courage and compassion. Avnix recounted a moment that deeply moved the Zorvans. During our observation, a small village faced devastation from flooding. A man risked his life to save a complete stranger, braving treacherous waters despite having no personal connection to the individual. When asked why, he replied, because it was the right thing to do. The audience fell silent, their lights dimming in reverence. Zale continued, their emotions make them unpredictable, but they also make them extraordinary. It is through their feelings that they forge bonds, create art, and envision a better future. The decision. The Zorvan Assembly deliberated long after the presentation ended. Humanity's paradoxical nature was both fascinating and alarming. Some argued that humanity's unpredictability posed a risk to intergalactic harmony, while others believed their ingenuity and resilience could be an asset. Finally, the Zorvan Council reached a decision. They would establish a covert program to guide humanity, subtly influencing their trajectory without overt interference. Vader versus Return to Earth. Years later, the Zorvans returned to Earth in secret. This time they chose not to reveal themselves, but to leave subtle gifts, technological blueprints, encoded within natural phenomena, and seeds of ideas planted in the minds of humanity's dreamers. The Zorvans watched as humanity stumbled, rose, and stumbled again. They saw wars fought, disasters endured, and progress achieved in fits and starts. Avnix reflected, they are a species defined by contradictions, but perhaps it is these contradictions that make them resilient. Zale replied, humans are insane, yes, but in their madness lies a power we have yet to fully comprehend. It is a power worth nurturing, the legacy of paradox. Centuries later, humanity reached the stars. They carried with them the lessons of their paradoxes, the Zorvans' subtle guidance woven into their advancements. They became both explorers and caretakers, dreamers and doers, embodying the contradictions that defined them. The Zorbans observed from afar their archive of human insanity, now renamed the Archive of Human Potential. Uh, Humans are insane, Zhao concluded, watching a human ship venture into uncharted space. And that is their greatest strength.